Okay, I'm out here in the garage trying to build me a little birdhouse. More for just decor, not for real, just decor. Anyways, this is what I've got so far. I better get busy and get this side over here nailed before it glues that way. But I thought I better stop and show what I'm doing. Okay, it needs a top, and all I can find is some shingles. There's thick on one end and thin on the other. So I'm going to go with thicker side on one, put both the thick sides on this side, and the thinner will be down here. And hopefully it'll turn out looking all right. Okay, I got it all nailed together. And I'd like to say it was simple, which it might have been. But my boards were these boards were they were flat on one side and kind of bowed in the middle. And there were just scraps of wood, but it worked. I got it put together. This looks like a gap, but it's actually not. It's the wood. It's kind of like this. Has an edge on it like this. I should have turned that to the outside, and I didn't. But, oh well. Hopefully once I get it all painted up the way I want it, it'll look a lot better. And, of course, like I said, I have thick down here on the shingle and thin here, but it's for me, and I don't mind it. I think it looks fine. So I'm going to take it in and paint it up. Well, I'm sitting here looking at the birdhouse and trying to figure out what color to paint it. I know the roof, I am going to just, stain it and leave it wood. And I was going to go white down here, or, like plaster color. But I like the way my basket looked with that green in the wood so much that I'm just wondering if I want to do that. I haven't made up my mind yet. Alright, it's going to either be the plaster or the greens. What I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with it, unless I come up with something else. Alright, I'm getting ready to just stain my roof, and I have some not Waverly, but the Folk Art antiquing wax here. And I've just put it in this, and I've put a little water in it to water it down. And I got to thinking I didn't really show me building this, but it's really not complicated. It really wasn't. I just took some boards, and the back and the front right here, it was 12 1/4. And see, I was trying to see how, and 5 inches. Okay, 12 1/4 by 5. I cut 2 of those, and then of course this was the same piece of the board, so I just had to turn it up that way. And then I drew me a miter cut. I used my miter saw, but actually it'd have been just as easy to use my scroll saw or a jigsaw. Just you make your angle and cut it. And then I just cut my shingles off a little bit bigger than the boards, which is 13 3/4. But it'll just depend on whatever wood you have. And of course, before I did anything, after I cut this down, I did mark out a spot for, made a mark for where I wanted each hole. And then I took on my drill press and had a bit in there, a whole bit, and I just drilled through that and went ahead and put on the nails. I don't know what kind of nails these are. I think I've used these before. Somebody told me what they was. I don't remember. But I hammered those on because all that needed to be done before I put it together. So, anyways, that's where we're at now. And I am just going to take my watered down antiquing wax and do the top. That's it on this. I mean, on the top. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, I could have used more water. Alright, I'm going to finish putting this wax on there and kind of staining this up. And then we'll get to the bottom. Alright, I have that finished. That coat on there. And I have decided to go with the Dixie Belle English Ivy. So I'm just going to start painting that. I didn't put any other coat on this or anything. I probably should have, but I didn't. But I'm just going to start painting this now. And I can tell it's going to need 2 coats. Then do something probably rusty the nails up. I don't know what all I'll do, but I'm going to get this coat on there so I can move on and figure out what else I'm going to do. I just love this color of green. I think it's so pretty. Of course, I am partial. I like red and I like green. That's the 2 colors, and I'm not a pink person at all. Unless it's on my toes, which is not a good thing, because when I wear flip-flops out, boy, the chickens check my toes out and they start pecking on the pink toes. Okay, I'll quit rambling, get this finished, and I'll be back. Okay, I think instead of waiting on this to dry, I am going to just go ahead and rust my nails. I love this little heat gun. I had one. I had a pink one, a long pink one. My husband had it out in the garage doing the epoxy pour, and he got it all sticky, and he was going to clean it up. I said, no, that's okay. I need an excuse to get this one, and I love it. It's a heat craft tool by Ranger. I really like it. Listen, it's so quiet. I know, you've probably seen other crafters use it. I like it. Alright, now let's start. I'm going to put some rust on my nails, which there is actually, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. There's some rust, a little bit of rust actually naturally starting on this. But I can't leave it plain, so I'm going to put some cinnamon on it, of course. If it gets a little bit on my paint that's wet, it's okay. But I don't think it's so wet that it won't just brush off. Okay, set that there. Here's my cinnamon. Put that over my plate. I think I'm just going to pick it up and kind of tap it on there. That's working. Some on the underneath. I always pour some Mod Podge out and something to use for my cinnamon, so I don't mess up my whole deal of cinnamon. And then when I need it, it's clean. I don't have to have that much underneath. That won't show that much. Okay, that's fine. Move on to the next one. I'll brush it down and then put another coat over it when it's dried. Got to get some down in there. It's working fine. I'll get another brush and dust that off. It's on the green. Okay, I'm going to finish doing this one, and I'll just go over it with another coat of Mod Podge, and they'll be rusty looking. Okay, these are dry now, so I'm just going to tap over them with some more Mod Podge. And it's kind of got a thick layer of cinnamon on it, but that will make it look like piled up rust. I'm just going to do that to all 3 of them. And it'll be finished. That one's really thick with, or no, the thing, it won't be finished, but the nails will be finished. I think as far as giving another coat, it's just I'm gonna have to just go over it lightly because it's covered pretty good, but there's some spots that could use another coat. And it's about dry enough now. I can go over that and finish that up and let it be drying. All right, this was dry, and I took my little finger sander and just went around the edges a little bit. And now I'm going to put some the Jolie top coat in brown on my project. And it gives that brown or that green a total different look. Wipe it back a little bit. I don't want that much brown. Don't want to dry too much. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I don't want to hit my nails and knock my stuff off from it. This towel is a little thick. I need a thinner piece. Get some t-shirt material so I can maneuver a little better. Okay, I want to try taking, while that's still a little wet, taking some of this DIY decrepit dust. I don't know if it'll do anything or look any different. Kind of want to go around there. I'll make it look old. And around the holes on the birdhouse. Then I'll let it dry just a little bit, and then I'll wipe it off with a soft brush. Kind of rub it with my fingers. That's got a little more on it than I want. Okay. Just makes it look old. Might mix a little bit throughout the whole thing. Okay, I like the way that looks. Doesn't look new. All right, I'm going to finish the sides and the back now with the wax. Okay, I decided I need a little bird to sit beside my birdhouse. So I went into my software. Hang on, I'm going to show you. I went into Silhouette Studio and I found a bird and I thickened the lines on it because it was just cut lines. So I made them black and thickened the lines and I put it the size I want it, printed it out, and now I have a pattern that I'm going to put onto wood, probably about 1/2 inch wood's all I'm going to use, I think. I've got to go find something. I got to go look at my scraps. Anyways, I'm going to cut that little bird out and paint it so I'll have it to sit beside my birdhouse. And has anybody... Boy, that looks real green. It's not... That green is not that bright or dark. It barely shows up in person. Has anybody tried doing a pot, making it look old? I tried, but I don't know. I took a little one that I had and thought I'd try it before I done it on one of my bigger pots. And the green in there is really showing out in the video, in the camera, but in person, I mean, there is a green tint to it, but it's not that bold. But I was wondering if anybody else had been successful at making a little pot, clay pot, look like it had been really used. Okay, I went and found a piece of wood, and it's not as thin as I was going to get, but I was afraid it wouldn't set up good if I tried to get too thin of a piece, and I want it to set up good. So this is it's a 1 inch piece of just pine, and I'm going to do it old school way and use carbon paper and just trace it on there. And the little wing, I've got some thin wood here. I'll trace it on that. I'm going to take it to my scroll saw and cut it out. And I won't be filming that because I don't even know if I can maneuver myself back into where my scroll saw's at, let alone trying to set up a tripod to film. So, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trace this off and go out to my scroll saw and cut it all out. Well, I've cut my bird out real fast, and I'm going to start by just using the folk art stain or antiquing wax and staining my bird. And I'm going to put some gloves on because that stuff is really messy. All right, that's better. I think what I'm going to do, I don't need to get down in there, is I'm going to stain this and then I'm going to paint it plaster by Waverly and then sand it back. Need to pour some of that out in a little cup. I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to rub it back a little bit, let it dry, and then use the Waverly on it. All right, I started painting before I turned on my camera, and I'm trying to think if, I don't know, I was kind of dry brushing that on, but I think, let me try it on the other side. Kind of wipe off my brush out of thinking I'm going to go solid and then sand it back. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to go solid and sand it back. I just thought maybe I'd try the dry brush look with the wing maybe left the wood. I mean, it doesn't look bad. All right, I'm going to go with the solid. So I need another brush. Yeah, I'm going to go solid. And then I'm going to probably, well, I know I'm going to distress it. And probably put some wax on it. I'm going to do this and let it dry. And I'll be back. Okay, while I was waiting for my bird to dry, to me the front of the roof just looked too plain. So I just took my wax and went around the edges. I think that really, it made a big difference in the way it looks. But see, I got a little up there. Okay. Now I'll go do it on this side. Got to turn it where I can see it. And then you can see how it looks there. And then I start putting the brown around the edges. And I'm using the Jolie brown. It's usually my go-to. And then on this edge, kind of feather it out. On my brush and my wing. Okay, I'm going to finish doing this, and then maybe my bird will be dry and I can finish it up. Then I think I'm going to do something with this little pot. Put something in it. And I might be able to use all three of them together in a grouping. I don't know. All right. I took my little finger sander and just, what did I do with it? Oh, right there. I just took it and went across like that. And sanded back the bird a little bit. I'm leaving, I think I'm going to leave the wing, the brown color. Now I'm going to go over this with some wax, some clear wax, that is. Then I'm going to wipe it back, of course. Wipe some of it off. This wax here, I bought this little bottle from Fusion Furniture Wax. I thought, well, I'd try it. Just bought a little one. It's real smooth and creamy. Okay, now I'll wipe it back. I'm going to go over it with my brown wax now. I don't know. Trying to figure out, I don't need this white brush. I better put it in the water before it dries out. I'm trying to figure out whether to use a small brush or the brush I've been using. It's already had some wax on it. course. Going around the edges real good. I may not even need to add any to my brush. I don't think I need to. Well, a little bit around the edges. I'll wipe that back, getting it pretty thick. All right, I think that's the look I was wanting. You would think, why isn't she painting the bird a color? Well, I wanted to set it with my birdhouse, and I couldn't figure out what would go with it. So, that's why I'm going with the light color. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the little wing dark. So I'll glue that down. Kind of make sure which ways that go. Yeah, it goes like that. There, about like that right there. Okay, I think that looks cute. If I decide I want to go over this, I can. I actually like this side better, but I want it facing like that. So, and I didn't cut another wing, which I should have. That way I could turn it either way. Well, I still can. It just won't have the wing on it. And it looks cute without the wing. So, it'll work. Okay, now I'm going to do a little something with this. Probably going to get, what am I trying to say? The moss. And put some in each little hole. And that's probably all I'll do to that. And then I need to do up my little pot. So I need to find me some floral foam and put in here and figure out what I want to put in the little pot. Because I kind of want it to be a grouping. I don't know. It may not be, but that's what I've got plans for right now. So let me go gather up some things and start working on the pot and putting the moss in this.